Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers comprehensive auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus, benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim, through the repair process, to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Visit EnduranceWarranty.com for your fast free quote today. That's EnduranceWarranty.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers comprehensive auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus, benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim, through the repair process, to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Visit EnduranceWarranty.com for your fast free quote today. That's EnduranceWarranty.com.
This is a podcast from Minute Media.
Warning, the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, kiddies. This is yours duly, John Kassir, the voice of The Crypt Keeper. And you're listening to Slasher Radio.
Welcome to Slasher Radio. My name is Mikey Bones, and as always, I'm joined by Kat Fedora and the voluptuous Rob Humphrey.
How you doing?
Hey there.
Is that what I was calling you for a minute, or what was I calling you?
That's good. That's fine.
No, it was something else, wasn't it?
I don't know. Voluptuous works. I got nice curves and big boobs.
Kat, what was I calling him, Kat?
I was trying to remember.
That's just what came out.
Now all I can think of is voluptuous, though. I know that's not right, but...
Shit. I don't know.
Was it magnificent?
No, I did do that at one point. I can't remember what the fuck it was. Damn. All right. Anyway, someone will let us know. Chris, I'm sure. Chris has that in like a Rolodex somewhere. I'm sure. Filed away. Anyway, we are joined this week by a very special guest. Amber from Twitter, Amber Scroggins. Amber, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, Mikey. Thank you so much. Hey, Kat. Hey, Rob. So great to be here. Or should I say Lord Humphreys?
No.
Yeah, don't address him that way.
No, please don't. No.
We awarded the cup last week. That was nice. Nice ceremony.
We didn't.
No. But to celebrate Amber being here, guys, I made the decision earlier that I was going to bring margarita in a can out of retirement.
Holy shit.
Yes. So I went to the liquor store and they were out of margarita in a can. So I don't know if I'm getting classy or if I'm getting trashy, but I am drinking margarita in a plastic bottle.
Oh,
holy shit.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll see how this one goes. I don't know.
I'm getting pretty classy today. I have my answer. I'm drinking blue Moscato.
Ooh.
Straight out of the bottle.
Nice.
I didn't know it came in blue.
I didn't either.
So that's a blue wine?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think it's a blue rosé, actually.
Oh. Damn.
Oh,
Okay.
fancy pants.
Look at this. And I'm still, see, you guys went and upgraded, and I'm still in a fucking can with Jack Daniels over here.
I
No
don't
one
know that
told me.
margarita in a plastic bottle is better than margarita in a can. I really don't.
We're going to find that one out together, are we?
Yeah.
buddy? Yeah.
Yeah. I will say these are not as strong as margarita in a can, which is disappointing.
Well,
And the bottles also do not hold as much as the cans did. So I do not have as much alcohol as I thought I did tonight.
damn.
Yeah.
Amber, are you at any level of intoxicated? What's going on with you over there? What you got?
Actually, I wound up making Hillbilly Shirley Temple. It's orange juice and cherry moonshine with a little bit of tequila.
Ooh.
Ooh.
My God.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
By the end of this episode, Amber's going to be yelling, margarita again.
It sounds like half a glass of that, and I'd be asleep on somebody's floor somewhere.
Holy shit.
And I'm not even eating the cherries. I'm just drinking the cherry moonshine.
Nice. I also have a cup of Sunny D. Does that count?
Counts as you being disgusting.
What?
Sunny D.
We're a child. Children can drink Sunny D, I guess.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong. I grew up on Sunny. There's nothing wrong with Sunny D.
Yeah, most of us grow out of it at some point, though.
Absolutely not.
I still drink Tang.
I didn't even know you could get Tang anywhere.
Yeah, I still see Tang around. That's what they used to give the astronauts.
Really?
I don't know. I think that was like a commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that shit was true or not, but
I'll tell you what, too. A little bit of vodka in Sunny Delight, very, 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 very good.
So you're drinking like a child screwdriver.
No, I didn't put vodka in it. I have my Jack Daniels in a can. I didn't know we were doing all these things. Nobody tells me anything yet.
Of course, we always go through a roll call of what we're drinking.
But no one told me we were switching it up. I had my can and my gummies, and
I didn't intend on switching it up. I went to the liquor store and I thought, it's a special occasion. It's a terrible movie we're talking about. I got to sit through this movie. I'm going to get some margarita in a can and make it worth it. And then they didn't have it. So I ended up with margarita in a plastic bottle.
I also have Mai Tais left, but then I got so distracted by the fact that the wine was blue.
Yeah. I almost bought they did have the Moscow Mules in a can and I almost bought those. But I just love a margarita.
I had the margarita in a can and it was giving me heartburn, so I switched it up to moonshine.
Yeah, that will happen.
Amber, you've had margarita in a can?
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right.
Yeah, I figured I'd try it because he was talking about how good it was, and I'm a margarita type of person.
Yeah, and the margarita in a plastic bottle is not bad. I mean, it's not as strong, and I don't know what kind of Rob it's going to deliver here in a little bit. We'll see. Yeah. Now, what flavor Jack Daniels in a can do you have, Mikey?
I have watermelon punch.
Okay. I think that's what you had last week too.
No, I had the lemonade.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, that with my my little Delta 9. So I'm in a good place right now for a very shitty movie, as Rob mentioned. Amber, you had called in. Who knows how long ago it was now, and you were talking about the Texas Chainsaw just came out, Netflix 2022, all that shit. And you said you would love to come on and talk about it, and we love having Amber on, so we said, fuck it. And here you are. What made you, we're going to have to get into the news before we really get into it, but what made you, what made this the one to talk about for you?
Honestly, because to me, and this is just my opinion only, this is by far the worst movie that they want to connect to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. By far, the worst storyline ever.
That's pretty heavy.
If we're just talking storylines, I'm going to go ahead and say right now, you're right.
Damn. Do you guys want to get into the news real quick, and then we can
get right into it?
Yeah, because I have a feel like I have a lot to say about this. I'm sure we kind of touched a little on what we felt, but we could really, I'm sure, go into this shit.
Oh yeah, this is just the movies.
I think it'll be cathartic for us all to beat this movie a little bit.
Right. I'm a little nervous about Rob, though.
Yeah, I
'cause
want to
he's,
talk
like,
about
real
Rob.
quiet right now.
What are you talking about? What are you nervous about me?
Because you've said things about how you want to rewatch it. You heard this.
Because I keep listening to podcasts where people say it's good.
Stop listening to other. Why are you listening to any other podcasts for hours? The rest of them are stupid.
I listen to a bunch of other podcasts.
And you come back with shit like that. There's a point. So
no, I don't know. I'm a little surprised. I thought Amber liked this movie.
Oh, hell no. No.
Okay, you should punch him in the nuts right
no,
now.
I thought that's why she picked it. I was ready for a fight, and she's like here on the right side of history. So, all right.
Fair enough.
It's time to hump the news with Rob Humphrey.
He's not a genius. Rob Zombie releases new behind-the-scenes shots of the monsters.
Just release the fucking movie, Rob Zombie. Listen, I love you, but come on.
Rob, what do you think
I think
about
at this point, what he's doing is he's releasing still shots, and that's how he's going to release the movie. It's going to be like one of those flip books.
Stop motion.
Yeah, that we make when you were a kid. You draw a picture, and that's how we're going to have to watch it.
That's pretty fucking funny. I just sent it to you, Rob. It's this one's on Sherry Moon Zombies Instagram. It's a picture of her and Rob Zombie. She's in her Lily Munster getup. They're really milking this one, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she looks fine, and like the makeup and the getup that they've got her in looks fine for Lily Munster, but I don't know why he got to be in the picture. He ain't in the movie, is he?
Well, I mean, it's his.
I guess. The house looks good in the background. I don't know. I'm optimistically cautiously optimistic about this movie because of it getting like the PG rating and everything. I want to see what I'm interested to see what that is. What does a PG Rob Zombie movie look like?
I don't know. But part 2 of this this topic, Rob Zombies, The Munsters gets Dee Wallace to join as a Good Morning Transylvania host.
Oh,
nice.
That's exciting.
That sounds dumb.
What?
I mean, I'm glad that Dee Wallace is in the movie, but Good Morning Transylvania? Come on. I don't need that.
That's fucked up, man.
It's a little too cutesy.
But it's Dee Wallace, though.
I like Dee Wallace.
So how dare you?
I apologize that I wasn't here so she could meet me when we did the interview.
It's unbelievable. Yes, we had Dee Wallace on around October-ish. I don't remember. Jack Daniels in can. But yeah, I mean, anything that she's in, I'm down for. Apparently Rob's not, but I am.
I mean, anything other than Good Morning Transylvania, maybe.
It's messed up, man.
Wow.
Anybody else have any thoughts on this?
Excited to see Dee Wallace.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Dee Wallace too. I'm just kind of like taken back by Rob and Dee Wallace.
I know.
That's like going against Sydney.
It's nothing against Dee Wallace. I like Dee Wallace. Good Morning Transylvania. Come on. Dee Wallace is better than that.
Jennifer Aniston in Leprechaun.
My queen right there.
You know what? Be lucky, Mikey. Be lucky and be happy that she didn't meet up with Dr. Chalice, because he would have soiled her for you.
He would have tried to.
Yeah.
There's no way
He would have. Oh boy.
Again, Jennifer Aniston, too old for Dr. Chalice.
Jennifer Aniston, there is no way that queen of a woman would give up her precious poom poom to dirty old fucking nasty Dr. Chalice.
Oh, when she saw that mustache. Ooh.
We're not talking about this.
She'd forget Brad Pitt's name.
I got to thinking about something about you, Rob, whenever you were talking about how special it was to meet Tom Atkins and stuff. And I think the only reason why he didn't want you standing by him is because of your age. I think you just old for him, and I would take it as a given.
Yeah, that's probably I've aged out of Tom Atkins. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Was he still at that 25 range?
Yeah. That might be a little old.
And this is the man you
Don't
praise.
forget, he does ask the woman in Halloween 3 how old she is, but not until after they've banged.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's a round 4 participant of Murder Madness for everybody.
Elite 8, baby.
Unbelievable. All right, next thing I wanted to bring up, and this is quick. There's really not much to say. There is new footage of the Evil Dead game. We are inching closer and closer. I cannot wait. Next month, Easter Dead. I opened my calendar and Easter was there.
Easter Dead?
Yeah,
Easter Dead is coming out.
My bad. Happy Easter, everybody. It's after midnight. We'll record this. Evil Dead, May 13th. It will be arriving. And actually, we kind of have, I guess we can announce a little bit of news on that we will be having, you would think I'd have this ready.
You'd think.
You would think. This is what happens when you do the news last minute.
Jack Daniels in a can, everybody.
Jack Daniels in a motherfucking can. We will be having Tim Wiltis, the chief creative officer at Saber Interactive, one of the companies putting out this Evil Dead game. So we will be able to chat with him next week and talk a little bit of Evil Dead and horror gaming, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be cool. Looks like it's gonna be a fun game for people who are into that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm not a gamer either.
Well, I don't see a lot of like people talking. I'm sure after our episode drops with this interview, like 50 people will get it. Bloody Disgusting will talk about something they mentioned 2 years ago about it. The typical treatment that we get. But you guys could get a little light shed on your hopes too for the single player stuff too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I plan on asking about it. Just grilling them about single player. How long was this in the works? What's the narrative? Who was working on this?
Hi, Tim. Thanks for joining us. Single player.
That's my plan.
I only have questions related to Bruce Campbell.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, I feel like this is a Dr. Chalice thing going on. I'm just mosey on through it. But this game looks
Mikey's
awesome.
gonna give us the wrong date for the interview, Rob.
I always prepare hard for these interviews, so you better not.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna say which interview it was, but who are we interviewing today was a question from one Rob Humphrey.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But yeah, this game looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to play it. I pre-ordered the damn thing. Collector's edition, all that shit. I want this game. I want to play it. I love Friday the 13th. I despise Dead by Daylight. And that's really been all we've had multiplayer wise. So it's really nice that we're getting a breath of fresh air with this Evil Dead game. So can't wait.
If you were as good at Dead by Daylight as I am, you would despise it.
You despise it.
I know, but like I said, once I learned that you can just hide and let everybody else do everything and then run out, then I enjoy it.
How you were able to do that is I don't understand.
It was great. It was the greatest round of any game I've ever played online.
You didn't get crows on you?
I got nothing. Because I moved. I moved from time to time. Just not very often.
From time to time.
Yeah.
So him not knowing there were the crows function in that game was still, by dumb luck, able to avoid it. Unbelievable. I stand still a little too long, hiding from a killer crow. Dead.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus.
Well, you gotta move, but you don't have to move that much.
I'm not gonna deal with it. Pennywise. There's an escape room called Escape It that is sewer themed in Las Vegas.
Oh.
What do you guys think of that?
Sounds terrible.
I bet they're just putting people in the sewer like, ooh, look.
Not interested. No, thank you.
That sounds like a scam, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've never done an escape room. They sound like fun, but I've never been able to get a group of people together that was big enough to go do one, And I'm not gonna go do one with a bunch of strangers because that's fucking weird.
Located in the heart of Sin City and spanning more than 30,000 square feet.
All right. But I don't want to be. Here's the general rule: I want to be in a sewer themed nothing ever.
Okay.
If you said to me it's sewer themed, I'd be like, no, thank you.
That's correct. There are a lot of escape rooms that have tempted me. The Saw escape room, the Five Nights at Freddy's escape room. But I'm not going into a sewer themed escape room.
Nope.
Although, out of curiosity, is it what Pennywise are we talking?
The new one, piece of shit. Yes.
Okay.
It says that Escape It is a revolutionary new take on the traditional escape room experience, offering fans 2 multi-room escape adventures to bring to life it blah 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 blah. And they had it in the highest grossing horror film of all time. Shut the fuck up. Amber, what do you think about is this something you would go through?
If it wasn't sewer based, yeah, I would, because I kind of like them escape room things. They have them down at the shore. We're hopefully gonna get to go to one this year because they've had it closed due to COVID and stuff.
Oh.
But like, I think it would be really cool. I just don't like the idea of it being based in a sewer.
Yeah, no, I don't want anything to do with anything in the sewer.
Nah, can't even get me for a Ninja Turtle. I'm sorry.
No, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I have seen the memes on. Hold on, we got dog movement, guys. Okay. So everybody listen. I have my 2 dogs together, which is like kind of rare, and one of them was lurking, and the other one looked at him, so I didn't know what was gonna happen. We're on puppy watch here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Goddamn, fucking, I am.
You just did that one.
On one tonight. Casper will return for a live-action horror adventure series for Peacock.
Casper,
like, you know, the
friendly ghost.
Friendly ghost.
Yeah, of course. Yes. What are the Casper?
I don't know.
No.
Fine.
You guys
Whatever.
don't care, really?
No, not at all.
It sounds kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched those cartoons when I was a kid, but
Yeah, but the Casper movie was pretty good. I mean, it had Christina Ricci in it.
yeah, I didn't
And
see
it
it.
had the kid from Final Destination in it.
Yeah. Nothing wrong.
No, I didn't see it.
Well, Kat, how do you feel? Please say.
I think it's fun. I think it's a fun time. I'm probably not going to watch it. I don't have Peacock.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out. Just because it's Casper.
If for whatever reason I end up with Peacock, I'll probably end up watching it. But I'm not going to get a streaming service for it.
You don't have Peacock?
No.
What about free?
No.
You can get free.
You love giving me more work. You can't say free.
I don't know why I can say Peacock, but I can't say free. It doesn't make any sense.
Because Peacock is a bird, and it's also a streaming service. It's actual word. You're just saying free, which you can't say on the show.
Oh, that is still, I don't understand. I'm just saying, you can get free.
Yet it continues. I love the Casper. I mean, the cartoon was dope as shit. I love the cartoon too. It was great, but those movies, man, I could watch them like if they're on, I'm watching them. Period.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Amber? I mean, they were the shit.
There was something about them that you enjoyed yourself. It's like it took you back to your childhood or something.
I think Mikey's secretly 14 years old and hasn't been telling us, Kat.
I want to be. It's so
He's
bad.
like, I'm watching Casper and drinking Sunny D.
Hey, man, don't hate on me. I'm living my best life over here. That's pretty good. That's pretty sweet deal.
Jack Daniels in a can.
Yeah. Well, a 14-year-old that gets to drink and take marijuana gummies. This is pretty nice. All right. Well, you guys ruined it for that. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Next thing I wanted to bring up is the found footage phenomenon is a Shudder original documentary coming in May. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's the name of it?
Found footage phenomenon. Yes.
That is the name of it.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rob on that one.
Oh, Kat.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Shudder has my trust. I'm not going to say they have 100% success rate, because they don't. But if I see that Shudder's doing something, I'll be like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Because more or less, I trust them.
Right.
I mean, I might check it out, but that's a really dumb name.
I trust there's a reason.
It was a phenomenon after what the hell, Paranormal
Blair
Activity.
Witch. Oh.
Well, Blair Witch had its little wave too, but Paranormal Activity. I mean,
Yeah, Blair Witch had a little wave, Rob. But
Yeah, it's a little blip on the radar, but then,
Well,
but then
no, I'm
they took a pool cleaner out of a pool.
Oh.
Everybody lost their fucking mind.
I don't mean the movie's impact. The movie's impact, obviously, Blair Witch, but I'm saying as far as other films coming out being found footage, there was a wave after Blair Witch, absolutely, but Paranormal Activity, Jesus Christ, it lasted forever. We were getting fucking found
I
footage.
don't know. Here's the problem with that is most of those movies suck. So do I want to watch is it a documentary?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't want to watch a documentary about 95% of the movies that suck, you know?
Are they going to talk about Marble Hornets? That's
I
all
would
I
hope
want.
so.
I just want someone to talk to me about Marble Hornets in a documentary format.
You would think, right? I mean, you would think it
I
has to be
hope.
in there. I don't know. But I know they'll be talking about Paranormal Activity. Rob.
And that pool cleaner scared us all.
It's like it was just a movie about a pool cleaner.
I mean, I don't know if you understand this, Amber, or not, but the pool cleaner was in the pool.
Yes.
And then it wasn't in the pool. Holy shit.
You know what the sad part is? If it was a movie about a killer pool cleaner, you'd be all the fuck over that.
Oh, obviously.
Oh yeah, I mean that'd be cool.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine? That would be awesome.
Stuff would happen in that movie.
Instead, it's about a demon named Toby who moves the pool cleaner. Oh.
I'll never fucking understand. Never, ever. The last thing I wanted to talk about, you guys always ruin the news, especially you, Rob. Shame on you.
Well, I got a couple of things to mention after this.
Okay. Jurassic World Dominion. Cast reflects. They have a thing, their video out where they talk about it to everybody on there. That's pretty dope. They put out a new picture, logo, image, poster. That looks cool. Like, I don't know how Jurassic Park always has the coolest fucking posters. I don't know how they do it. And there was like a little quick image of a new dinosaur they had last week that was like fucking Joker inspired or something. They're doing a lot of shit. Yeah.
The Jokersaurus?
That's not what they called it. But...
That sounds dumb. I'm not interested now. You've ruined this movie for me.
You would always talk a shit about it anyway.
Well, only because they released that like prologue or whatever that was boring as shit, and it's a follow-up to fucking Jurassic World eBay.
That's not what it's called.
With a fucking stupid dinosaur auction.
That's not what it's called at all. But yeah, that was a lighter spot, but it was still, to me, a pretty decent movie. And I don't know, man, I'm always gonna sit and watch dinosaurs. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna do it.
All right. Well, I mean, it's just, some Jurassic Park / World movies are good and others aren't, and that last one was not. But maybe this one will be cool. I don't know. So we're talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new movie this week, and it's worth noting that on April 11th, actress Kathy Lampkin, who was in the original film, passed away.
Yeah.
She was 74 years old. She all that was released was that she died after a short illness. They're not saying what that illness was, or at least I haven't seen anything about it. She was in a lot of stuff too. She was also in No Country for Old Men, probably one of her most notable roles. And there's been a switch with the fall of the House of Usher, the Netflix show. Frank Langella has been fired after a misconduct investigation. Apparently, he was sexually harassing one of his co-stars, and he is being removed from the miniseries.
Piece of shit.
I guess.
Do you know who have they announced who they're getting?
I have not seen anything about who they're getting, but apparently it's not going to delay production because he was removed and they didn't have anything with him coming up that needed to be shot. So they're hoping to replace him, reshoot anything that he has already shot, and pick up right where they left off. Is this, by the way, a Flanagan thing?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a Flanagan thing.
I thought it was, yeah. But anyway,
which
Frank
means
Langella,
I'm looking forward to it.
84-year-old Frank Langella apparently out there sexually harassing the ladies. He thinks he's Dr. Chalice.
What? Never mind. It's not
Oh my
never
God.
mind. Like, are we gonna ever stop with Dr. Chalice ever?
I'm just saying, if that had been Tom Atkins casting that role and he was hitting on the ladies, nobody would have complained. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
They would have
I don't think
complained.
you can say that.
Oh, they wouldn't have complained. Now when they see that mustache, whoo.
Amber, what's your take on the Tom Atkins mustache?
Oh my God. I'm so sick of hearing it. I want to shave it off his face. Between And Rob, it's just like the mustache. I want to set some bitch on fire.
The mustache is golden. I will say this, though. He did not have the mustache in The Fog, and he still managed to bang Jamie Lee Curtis less than 24 hours after meeting her character.
He didn't bang Jamie Lee Curtis. It was written that
he picked her up on the side of the road. She was hitchhiking. Next thing you know, they're in bed together because that's how Tom Atkins do it.
2 out of 2 women that have been on this show recently, Rob, have said no to the mustache.
Well, that's what they're saying with their mouth. Their heart saying something else. You know what I'm saying?
Because I like facial hair. I do. I love a good beard and a mustache, but Tom Atkins' mustache it reminds me too much of Tom Selleck, and it's just a no.
You see that picture of me with Tom Atkins, Amber?
No, I haven't seen it. You'll have to send it to my email.
Yeah, I'll have to email it to you because that mustache still look glorious all these years later.
It looked terrible. It's awful.
It looks glorious.
So are you saying that Tom Atkins bit off of Tom Selleck's mustache?
I'm just saying that
Tom Selleck wishes.
They're very close together because, like, my pop, I grew up having to watch Magnum PI, which I did not like as a kid.
That's a hell of a show, Magnum PI.
But my pop had to watch it every week, and the only difference is the color.
Yeah, Tom Selleck got the dark mustache. You guys like Magnum PI?
No.
Oh.
Really?
You never watched it?
No.
I've seen a couple episodes.
They rebooted it with Scott Conn. I think that's his name. Was that his name? James Caan's son? Anyway, the fool doesn't even have a mustache. Get the fuck out of here. Magnum PI with no mustache.
Why don't you have a Tom Atkins mustache?
Right, my mustache don't look that good. Kidding me? I gotta do the whole beard thing.
Okay, fair enough.
You gotta really be really be able to grow a certain kind of mustache for it to just go mustache.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have that kind of mustache that comes in, so.
Yeah, I don't think I can pull it off either.
Mm-mm.
Plus, I think it's also like the phase, like Freddie Mercury had great bone structure, but he kind of had something the matter with his front teeth where they were his jaw was a little bit bigger than normal.
Yeah.
But he carried a mustache well.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury made it work.
He did. He carried a mustache well.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for news, or are we gonna keep talking about mustaches?
I think we should just do an episode of all the great mustaches in history. Because Amber brings up a good point. Freddie Mercury had a nice mustache.
True.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're done talking about
Tom
mustaches.
Selleck had to go, and Burt Reynolds, another good mustache.
It's the booze.
Yeah, it must be. Margarita in a plastic bottle.
Margarita in a plastic bottle, everyone. This is where we land. Now, that's all I got for news. I just wanted to point out, apparently Frank Langella's 84 years old, still wanted to get it on. And poor woman from Texas Chainsaw Massacre died.
Damn. Way to end on a high note, Rob. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, we will take a really quick break, guys, and we will be back with the train wreck that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Fucking mustaches.
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
This is what it's like to do a show with Rob.
Well, that's perfect. I like that. I'll talk about mustaches all day long.
Why? Why would you want to, how?
You said why?
Part of it's because I'm jealous that I can't pull off a mustache.
Have you really tried, though?
No, but if I did, I'd just look like a pedophile.
Okay. All right. So we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Amber, you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Why are we doing this today?
We're doing this today because honestly, I've watched this movie 5 times total.
Oh, wow.
And I've tried to give it a chance each time, but this storyline is so way beyond repulsive when it comes to this franchise that it's not funny.
What makes you say that?
Because the storyline has it doesn't fit right, and I have to take it back to 3 movies where there's a complete and utter timeline where everything fits to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But the 2022 doesn't even consist with a good storyline when it comes to Leatherface and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. By no means does it at all.
Okay.
Amber, I want to ask your opinion on this because you have a very coherent vision for the timeline, and you've just seen the ones that you needed to see. How do you feel about the idea of this being a direct sequel to the 74 film as like Halloween 2018 or
I don't. Honestly, I don't. I honestly don't. The timeline is off by far when it comes to the age, especially how they're depicting it with Leatherface. And just the whole, if you know TCM, you've watched every single TCM there is. Whether you like them or not, we've seen them. Okay.
Yeah.
And in one of them, it states that Sally Hardesty died in the hospital. Now, all of a sudden, she's resurrected, and like 50 years later, she's ready for revengeance. She was like 20-something back then. So that would make her 70-something now. Why? Why? After all this time, why? You know, why go through that? They tried to do something because they seen how Jamie Lee Curtis became in 2018. But Halloween is a totally different subject. But when it comes to this and the Sally Hardesty story, it makes no sense. There's no water to hold this. You can grasp at straws all day long, and you can carry a bucket with holes in it, but it's not going to hold any fucking water. Plain and simple.
Well, I mean, we could go down a list of why it didn't work, and Halloween did. First of all, Jamie Lee Curtis is Jamie Lee Curtis. That helps when you're trying to do something like that. And plus, she did stuff. I mean, Kill, she, it was what it was. But in 18, like, she did stuff. Like this lady, Sally in Texas Chainsaw, it was nothing but hype the entire movie, and she shows up and gets plowed through.
I want to talk about that.
She is absolutely useless in this film. They could have completely cut out her storyline, and it would not have made a difference.
I really wanted to talk about that because when I saw it at first, I stayed up on release day until 3:00 in the morning so I could watch for the midnight release on the East Coast. And mistake, by the way, huge mistake, not worth it. But I hadn't heard much about the film at that point. There weren't a lot of reviews. There wasn't the Twitter discourse that has come out since. And the Sally stuff, I feel like they did her dirty in that movie. Don't get me wrong. I felt that way the first time too. But I didn't really take into consideration how much time they spent foreshadowing her. On the rewatch today, it was like they do a lot of, more than anything else in the movie, I think like the most coherent plot was supposed to be Sally's, because they spend a lot of time like building that up just for her to do nothing. And there's there's like one shot in there that really bothers me because she goes into the house. She's like, you stay here and be bait and I'm going to shoot him. And then she goes wandering into the house, which makes no sense to begin with. But she gets into the house. She has him point blank. She's like a foot away from him. She's got the shotgun aimed at his head. She's trying to get validation from him for some godforsaken reason. And then she just lets him pick up the chainsaw, walk out of the house. And then there's a cut. And then it shows him attacking the 2 girls in the car, and she comes out to shoot him, and she's like, you remember me now? And it's like, you had him. You had the shot. Why would you let him pick up the chainsaw and go outside? Like, what the?
One of them should have been dead at that moment. There's no reason for her to have that gun pointed at his head and talk and talk and talk and talk and not do anything. And there's no reason for him not to attack her
out into the street.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's my least favorite shot of the like editing shot of the movie, because it's just like there's no way they both came out of that fucking building.
Right.
No goddamn way.
Right. And I have this in my notes, by the way. One of the things that I wrote down is that she has to be the worst ranger that Texas has ever had.
Easily.
Yes.
Like, she's just terrible at her job.
Yeah.
I'll never, ever, ever, ever. I mean, the only reason she was put in this movie was to try and spice up some nostalgia, a little more nostalgia. And, someone had to stay alive in garbage for, 15 minutes to shoot someone.
I had that written down too. Luckily, she's able to be run through with a chainsaw and then lay in a heap of garbage for a long time and be just fine, apparently.
A conveniently located pile of garbage bags in the middle of the street. Yeah.
Right. Like, you just ripped her apart and impaled her with a chainsaw, but let's not let her fall on anything hard now. Soften up with the garbage.
Yeah. She just lay there in the trash. I did write down too that she really annoyed me when she told the young girl not to run. It's like, don't run. Fuck you, lady. I'm getting out of here.
You tried to use me as bait. You just shut up and die in your garbage.
It's going to haunt me for the rest of my life, but at least I'll be alive, you dumb bitch. I'm not sticking around here.
Yeah, no shit.
The more, like, when you really talk about it like that, it makes it so much worse. Like,
it's so stupid. It's completely stupid. This movie, from the beginning to the end, the dialogue is complete trash all the way through.
The storyline is just a shit-based storyline that was grasping at straws. And for them to call it a sequel to the original, that, to me, that's just blasphemy. I'm sorry, but take it what it's worth. That movie has nothing. The only thing that it has in common is there was a massacre in Texas with a chainsaw, but it doesn't make it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I agree. That, and they brought back Night Court star John Larroquette to do the narration.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yay. They could have done that to the rest of them as well.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting it's not plausible that a chef could auction off a town? I tried so hard to pick up, because like the first time I was just mad about it, and I tried so hard to follow that plot thread through this time, and it's like the best that I could figure is that like two chefs, Dante and his future wife,
Dante's partner,
chefs,
have
somehow done free promotion for the bank that is trying to auction off the buildings in the town of Harlow, but like also that makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, but that ties directly in with the whole inciting incident of the movie, is that Leatherface blames them, right? Because this woman got tossed out of her house, and we're supposed to blame them. And the hillbilly guy who lives in the town blames them.
But
it's not their fault.
Them.
I mean, if you think about it, they did lie. They was like, yeah, we've got it. And then, come to find out, no, they didn't have the deed to the house. She still had it.
But the bank had told them that property had been reclaimed. You can't just reclaim a property. The bank would have told them that. And when they call the police say, hey, we told you have to be out of here. And they removed her from the house.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think it's the bank's fault.
Yeah, if anything, this is the bank's fault. It's not their fault.
But they're considered a part of the bank. You're looking at, they're trying to depict these people as backwoods, as people that aren't up into modern times. So they're not going to think them as they think, because they're better than that old lady. They're better than that hick guy. They just portray themselves differently, to where you can see the big difference in the people skills that each person has, and sociability that is lacking from one group to the other. So they're going to take advantage of it because they can. But that still doesn't make it a good damn movie. It's still a shit movie.
Yeah. All right. I that makes sense too. But
my problem,
also, go ahead, Kat. Go ahead.
My problem with the whole deed thing, because it's like the communication was so poor in that movie. Anyone could have thought it was anyone else's fault, and it would have made as much sense. But like when they go back, when the guy just takes their keys and is like, I, the handyman, am not going to let you drive home because you killed an old woman. and they go back into the house to look for the deed. It's like, what? I don't understand, because like, what was their plan if they found it? They did find it and there was murder, so they didn't get to follow through on the plan. But was Melody just going to be like, oh, you're right, we did kill the old lady, give us back our keys?
Right.
Like, I understand she was just trying to get to the bottom of the answer of the like problem, but what was the plan?
But also, when all this happens, Dante says, let's keep the bank out of this. And it's like, no, that's the stupidest fucking thing we could do. The bank is the one they're the ones who are going to know. You know what I mean?
Apparently
like,
they didn't, though.
You check with the bank, you pull the bank into this because it was clearly their fault.
And that's a point made, but it's still a shit movie.
Yeah, no, it's a shit movie. The whole movie also is based on this premise that nobody knows who this guy was because he was wearing a mask in 1974, right?
Yeah.
If you've ever lived out in the country like that, everybody in the fucking county knows exactly who lives in that goddamn house.
And not only that, why did we have to get, and this might be nitpicky, but why did we have, speaking of faces, why did we have to get such a good look at his face?
That didn't bother me really, but what did bother me is how stupid he looked with that mask on.
Oh, God.
That looks so dumb. And that shot, I'm sorry, that shot of him when his head pops up out of that field of dead sunflowers
It's
makes me
awful.
laugh out loud. It's so fucking dumb.
It's one of the, like, it looks like a cartoon parody of it. And and that's what they picked?
Yeah, it's so stupid looking.
I also, this is a little bit of a side note, but the Walking Dead opening has been ruined for me thanks to that, because every time I see a field, I just think about Leatherface popping up out of there like a little cartoon, and it's like, fuck.
But like, seriously, what were they, like, all these things that we're talking about, like the holes that are in this story are insane. The point of bringing Sally back, it's just so blatantly stupid. The fucking logo that they made, and it was everywhere too. Him fucking coming out of the damn, like, it was awful. What? Like, these are executives. This is for Netflix. Who's sitting up there in these offices saying, "Okay, yeah, put that out"? Like, what the fuck are they doing for a movie? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, because when you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you think of Leatherface. This movie gave me zero Leatherface.
It didn't look like Leatherface
at all.
Well, it just, oh my God, where to begin with this movie? It's just one of the movies that I don't like. And to me, all they did was waste time, waste money, and make money off of a shit movie.
Now, it does have a short run time, which is good, but it feels long, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it still has that, what can you really take away from it outside of the bus massacre and
so
the stab with the wrist bone? That was kind of cool. It was new, it was different, it was something kind of cool.
Yeah, I've got that in my notes too, that the broken wrist killing was really amazing. I did like that one.
I didn't like it.
I had very few positive notes about this. That was one of the good things I did have.
Yeah.
One of the things that drove me nuts was how hard they tried to make the movie more important than it is. Like with the gun rights stuff and all the school shooting allusions, and even the cops pulling over the black guy on the side of the road. I mean, Jesus, come on.
Everything from all the headlines that has happened in the last 5 to 10 years and throw it in one fucking movie and see, basically like shaking up a bag of shit and seeing how it splatters against the wall.
Right. And look, I'm fine with that. If you want to make a movie that has a social message, I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter to me at all, but do it well. And this one does not do it well.
I think a really good point to that is because even the thing with the gun violence, like they made it a big point of the movie. It's Lila's whole backstory leading up to her being a final girl, whatever. And they kind of try to have an arc where she overcomes her trauma with guns, which it wasn't anything. It could maybe on paper have been something, I guess, but it was very empty. And I think a perfect metaphor for that is the fact that when she finally gets the courage to use the gun, it's not working.
Right.
And it's like the whole thing ended up being kind of pointless.
Right. And Amber mentioned the bus scene, which I do think is cool, but it gets undercut because they make that stupid joke about you're canceled, bro, at the beginning of it. And then in the middle of it, they call back to the school shooting and they take her completely out of the scene to show that she's like having a flashback to the school shooting thing. And it's like, come on, man, stop. Otherwise, you would have had a really cool scene on your hands, but you kind of ruined it.
I also don't think that scene was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene.
Not at all.
I would have loved to see that in a different movie. And honestly, this whole premise, if this had been a horror comedy, if this had been like a low budget horror comedy, it might have done a lot better. But it's just, it doesn't have, it tried too hard with the cinematography. And even with the bus scene where it looks like they're at a rave and they're doing all the social media jokes and stuff, it's like, that's just not what I want from my massacres.
I don't know. Some of the comedy really landed, like when that shit pipe drained out on her head. Boy, that was funny, wasn't it?
I mean, but there's comedy and then there's just don't do that here.
Yeah.
Like Kat said, that bus scene, I could see that in a Friday the 13th, maybe. I could see that in a Child's Play or a Chucky, something TV show, movie, whatever. I could see it in a couple different places, even Scream. That's not fucking, what are you putting that in? A fucking white LED lit bus in Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And even with like some of the shots of like the field, sunflower field, beautiful shots before the pop-up, but like not what I want to see from Texas Chainsaw. And the other one that really stuck out with me, the bus scene, the sunflowers, and then when Dante first gets attacked, that swinging door, like that was good cinematography, but it was trying too hard. I felt like it didn't feel gritty.
If there's anything that I liked about this movie, it was the cinematography. I think it's a very well shot film. Like I think back to the scene in the sunflower field when he's cutting his mother's face off, and you see it from that girl's perspective in that side view mirror.
Yeah,
like, there are a lot of really beautiful shots in this movie. They did a really good job with that. It's just what they were shooting was completely stupid.
If they had taken the attention, because I've talked about this, I think, on the show before. I talk about it a lot. I think the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the most brilliantly edited films because you feel like you're in the middle of this stuff, but you don't actually see that much, even though it's gone down as like one of the goriest films in history. And I think if they had put all the cinematography focus that they had in this movie into editing it, because I do feel like one area where this struggled was with the gore balance, where it's like they had some really cool concepts for stuff in the bus scene. Like the special effects were pretty good, but like they just really and I think it shows especially in that first kill with Dante's future wife, where they have like it's a cool concept for a kill and it's very slow and stuff, but they struggled with how much to show, you know. And then they've got like the close-up of Dante's face later. So you're like, if we're showing a close-up of this, why didn't we get to see more of the, gutting of the girl in the beginning? Because that's the first kill. That should set the tone for how much violence there's going to be. And it felt kind of wishy-washy all the way through.
And Dante's face, like that looked cool. It looked good, I thought.
The special effects weren't bad. They could have done more close-ups if that was the angle they wanted to go.
Yeah.
They should have.
Yeah, I that's the problem with this movie, right? I don't think they knew which way they wanted to go, so they went every damn way.
Yeah, they just kind of tried stuff to see what landed.
I mean, they made at least 2 meme jokes that I picked up on with the President Taft thing, because he's become like the meme president, right?
Yeah.
And the joke about the line about the feral hogs at the gas station, which was like
that was my favorite line in the movie
a while
ago.
By the way. Yeah, mine too. That actually, I don't know if you know this, Kat, but that actually started with Jason Isbell.
No.
Yeah, a musician I've played on Killer Beats a couple of times.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's a staunch liberal, and which upsets a lot of his fan base because he's a country musician for the most part. And he got a response from a guy when he tweeted something about why does anybody need to own basically what amounts to a machine gun. And the guy's like, well, what am I supposed to do about these 40 feral hogs that'll run through my yard at any moment? And it became a meme.
I knew that was where I knew that was the story. I didn't know who had started it.
Yeah, it was Jason Isbell. So I didn't. I mean, I kind of appreciated that line, but that's going to age like shit.
It's already out of date.
Yeah,
like it's funny, but yeah,
you know, those sort of inside meme jokes, they just don't age well over time. None of that's going to hold up, or it's not even going to. People are just going to be like, President Taft, what the fuck, like.
I want to bring up something that we haven't talked about yet, and I want to see if everybody caught this. Okay, Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. They did. I really don't want to bring this up. They did the whole pedophile thing.
Yeah, they did.
I can go without the comments. They did.
It sounded like I was a little too into it.
You were too excited.
Yeah. Sorry, margarita, plastic bottle, guys.
All right. So they did the whole pedophile thing with Freddy. Obviously, they were trying to get you to not like Freddy. He's the killer. You're supposed to. It was never going to work, but that's what they were trying to do. In this movie, they went the opposite route, and they tried to make you feel bad for Leatherface.
I felt like they tried to make you really hate those kids.
Yeah, there were a few moments in this movie where they did that. Like you see him take like his mother's dress or whatever out of the closet, and he's like smelling it, and then he's like putting her makeup on
the
and
makeup. Yeah,
there were a couple of moments where they really tried to pull on your sympathy for Leatherface, and that's just weird.
And I see like the the makeup thing, like obviously they're trying to be creepy, like because that's weird, but they had that moment before where he's hugging and crying, like kind of like Rob said, like they could have really went sadistic and had him like a mess and putting the makeup on and everything looks all crazy. Like they really could have went far with that scene and did something with it and made him like turn him into like a monster. What we picture Leatherface as.
Right. I mean, we've seen Leatherface do that before, right? With a woman's face. Yeah.
Right. And they instead said, okay, let's try and get people to feel bad for what the fuck were they doing? I don't get it. I'll never understand.
That's one of the weird things about this movie. I'm not real sure who I'm supposed to be rooting for.
Yeah.
At any point in time. I mean, honestly, the character I identify most with is Richter. And I hate pretty much everything about people like him.
He was the only he was like the most consistently written, because I feel kind of the same way. I don't like him, but I know where he's coming from.
Right, like I get it. I get it. And he has some funny lines. Like he's like, oh yeah, that's a cult. I don't care as long as you pay me.
I think the worst character for me was Melody, because she starts the movie off being so annoying and in your face and confrontational. She's got such a brat personality, and then like immediately she's the one that feels bad that they killed the old lady, and it's like, oh, all right, well, if you say so. And then she's like, she's picking on her sister and she accuses her of sleeping with a man when she goes away for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is that something ladies do? Because that seemed really weird and out of place to me.
So weird. But then in the next scene, she's like, or not in the next scene, but like the next thing she's just like, oh, you're strong. We're sisters. I'm gonna take care of you. And it's like, what?
Right.
Could not get a handle on her character though.
On any of these characters, I just didn't know. Like, Dante, I didn't like because he's that annoying guy who's super optimistic about everything and not realistic.
Like I said, the more you talk about it, man, it's like just what the fuck would they do in so many different places.
There's also I don't know if this is the best time to bring it up, but I don't want to forget about it. I talked about the one shot that bothers me with Sally. Because it's just edited very poorly. There's another one in here that really bothers me. There's the guy at the gas station, and there's a shot where he hears the radio. He hears the call from future wife.
Yeah, he's like taking the garbage out or something and just happens to hear it.
Yeah, and then it cuts away, and it's cut away for a long time. And then when we cut back to him, he's out of breath from, I guess, taking 30 minutes to walk across the room. And he answers it all out of breath, and he's like, can I get Sally Hardesty over here? And it's like, what are you talking? Like, why are you
I
point
wondered
is
that
this?
too. Like, I wonder if they cut something out or something because he's all out of breath and you have no
Yeah.
reason. There's no explanation as to why.
Because he has so much time to walk across the editing in this movie was atrocious. I hated it.
And why didn't she just go out her fucking door? The girl who was on the radio calling it, like, why didn't she just go out the fucking door
and just try and run?
She tries to unlock it like with the button, even though the car's turned off, and then she doesn't try to manually unlock it, even though it's a truck.
All you have to do is pull that fucking thing up. Is literally all you have to do. You're gonna climb over a dead dude. Like, you're trying to be quiet. You don't want to make a sound. You're gonna climb over a human being in a car. Are you kidding me? You're gonna fucking rattle, shake everything. It was so common sense was not there in this movie. It just wasn't there.
It was like everything that's bad in a horror movie, they put in this movie.
Yeah.
They forgot
all
the good,
worst,
though.
all the worst cliches they just strung together for this film. Yeah. And so here's something that really bothered me on this watch, which is I guess third time I've watched the movie. I don't know. I tried watching it like last week, but I was really drunk and trying to eat pizza at the same time, and I kind of
that must have been the night we recorded.
It was. Yeah. So calling it 2.5, we'll say that I've watched this movie. But in the movie theater, Leatherface starts the chainsaw, and so it gets the school shooting victim. I didn't bother to remember most of these characters' names, but it gets her attention to look that way, and then he comes at her from the side, and that bugged the shit out of me because that is the least Leatherface-like thing ever. He doesn't set traps for people in that way. He just comes at you and kills you. He doesn't do that. If he had started that chainsaw, he would have just run at her with the chainsaw.
Yeah. I had a tough time keeping track of what building that was. What building any of the buildings were, to be honest.
That was definitely the movie theater because I noticed there was advertising around for a film called Werewolves of the Alamo, and I can't find anything about it. I don't think it's a real movie, and I'm very disappointed by that. I would rather watch Werewolves of the Alamo than this.
All right. Do we have any good that we can mention at all?
I do.
Okay.
I do have two good. I mentioned the cinematography already. I do think it's a beautifully shot movie. It looks great. I also love the fact that Leatherface gets stabbed with his own merch. That makes me very happy.
That was good.
Yeah. And then I find the end absolutely hilarious.
The end was
hilarious.
No.
That's all I've got. That end is so funny to me.
But
when he just grabs her and cuts her head off, and her sister's looking out the sunroof of the slowest moving Tesla on Earth.
but why? It's not supposed to be funny, though.
I know, but it doesn't matter. It's still hilarious.
It was. I laughed out loud when I saw it. I was like, oh shit. And I just busted up laughing because I thought that was the funniest thing that they could have done in that movie. That's the only thing I liked about the whole movie was that part.
Yeah, that part cracked me up. And I did also like the touch of the bus driver goes out to check to see what's wrong with the bus, and then Leatherface just throws his head back into the bus. I thought that was kind of funny too.
I think the under the bed scene for some strange reason was done well.
Yeah, that I liked Richter's death. I thought that looked really good.
Yeah.
That whole scene bothered me. There were parts of it that I really liked. I think that was where they achieved the closest thing that they had to tension in this movie. But two things really bothered me about it. One is that the under the bed trope works because it's very claustrophobic. But if you can fit a whole person on their side, like propped up on their elbows underneath a bed, you've lost that claustrophobia. And that made it a lot less effective for me. The other thing was that when Richter is dying, it looks like he's not making eye contact with her, but he fucking hands her the keys. And it was too deliberate. Like the whole thing did feel it felt almost more like a high school play than a horror movie.
There was something about him handing her the keys that made me think, would Leatherface not have noticed that?
Right.
Yep.
You know, because he does look at her and almost, like deliberately hands her those keys almost.
He like gets them out of his pocket
Yeah.
just about to like hand
Yeah.
them over.
But,
and
and so, I mean, I guess all around, I would say if I had to pick a couple of things that I actually genuinely liked about this movie, I think the effects for the most part were good. I thought that Richter's death looked good. I thought Dante's face looked good. And the cinematography. I mean, that's the only thing that the only standout thing to me about this movie was how well it was shot. Everything else was garbage.
I kind of agree with Rob. I've already talked about the things that I liked about the movie for the most part. I do have just like a couple instance, like not full good critiques of the movie, but there were one or two things that make me unreasonably happy. One, we talked about Leatherface getting stabbed with his own merch, but honestly, I loved the I Chainsaw Texas t-shirts. Like, I would wear one of those even having hated this movie. I think that's just hilarious. The other one, this is so dumb, but there's a line in the movie where they're doing the auction, and they give away the one building to the woman that wants to open up a brunch shop. And it's like the most awkwardly acted thing where she's just like, oh, I love brunch. But honestly, that's how I feel like I would be in a situation like that, where you're just like trying to find random compliments for businesses. That was her most genuine acting in the entire movie.
And the place was called Brady's Brunch.
It's called Brady's Brunch, yeah.
Which I loved, yeah. Or maybe it was called the Brady Brunch. I don't know, something like that. It was a play on the Brady Bunch, and I loved that. I thought it was funny.
But just her reaction there, where she's just like, "Oh yeah, I love brunch."
I love brunch. Yeah.
Best acting in the whole. It, like I said, it was dumb, but it just like it was nice to see that these people could act periodically.
And you say so.
And yeah, it's like Rob said, like the cinematography was good. The special effects had their moments. I don't think they fit in the film that was made, but there were ups, you know.
This is one of those movies that I don't know if it's poor acting or poor writing.
It's impossible to
I mean?
tell sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's both. Maybe a little more on the writing side, but I think both. Amber, do you have anything positive you can say about this movie?
No.
Nothing at all.
Honestly, I think the cinematography was good. I do. I think the filming of it was really good. It had some beautiful scenes. I can't deny that. But outside of that, there's really nothing positive I can say about it, because it just, from beginning to end, it just pushed me farther and farther into the part where it's not a likable movie for me. It's not something I'm ever going to accept as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
Well, that brings me to one of my points on it, and it's probably the biggest thing that I have about it. If they would have just taken this same exact movie and changed the name of the killer and changed the name of the movie, they might not have had a terrible movie.
I will agree with you on that. Like, it would have been a horror comedy. It still would have been dumb. It still would have had plot holes, but I would have been a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
I still think it would have been a terrible movie. It just wouldn't have been a terrible Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I don't know, man. Like I've said this a couple of times recently talking about this movie. If you're going to take that name grab and that popularity grab and the eye grab of the using titles like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you got to take the other side of that, man. And that's only fucking fair, because you have no problem taking all the interest that you automatically gain by using that name. You got to take the other side of it. You're not staying true to the story. You're not staying true to the character. You don't give a fuck about any of that. You're gonna lose major points for it, man. Like, that's the way it goes. If there's no name, no expectations, nothing to live up to, you can do whatever you want, and nobody's gonna say, well, it shouldn't be that, because that's what it is.
Right, you can do whatever you want, but if this is what you do, then it's still shit. It doesn't matter. This just isn't a good movie. Like, I understand what you're saying, because I agree with you. Like, when we talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween, I say if he had not forced a remake of the 78 movie into the last act of his, and he had created a totally different character and named that movie something else, it probably would be an interesting movie to me. It's not an interesting movie because it's Michael Myers and he fucked it up.
Right.
This movie, though, is just not good. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's just not good.
Yeah, but it had enough. Like the bus, I wouldn't have been mad at all at the bus scene.
I mean, if this isn't named Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we never fucking see this movie. It doesn't get made.
That's the thing, man. Even if it does, it's like, you know, who's going to stop on Netflix for? Netflix wouldn't even have picked this up. Probably. Maybe.
I have notes about that.
Do you?
I do. I found a few interesting facts about this movie.
Okay.
It was initially going to be released in theaters, but that was scrapped after they did a string of test screenings that were disastrous. So then they sold it to Netflix, and Netflix picked it up. And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but the original directors were brothers Ryan and Andy Toohill. I don't know. But they were fired and they were replaced 1 week into production, and they were replaced with the guy who directed it, David Blue Garcia, and he scrapped everything and reshot the previous part of the film. Also, this was not shot in Texas. It was shot in Bulgaria.
I thought you were going to say Canada.
No, it was shot in Bulgaria. And Sally's barn and house are that we do see when she gets the phone call. Are actually sets that were used in the production of Rambo: Last Blood from 2019.
So wait a minute, hold on. Does this take away Greg's entire point?
I don't know. I don't know what Greg's point is. I don't pay attention to those.
Greg's point was, it was in Texas. They had a chainsaw, and it was a massacre. It wasn't in Texas. It was in Bulgaria.
Oh my God! Yes.
It's gone now. None of it means shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can hear him breathing in the other room.
Greg's in
I
there
can hear him
shit.
fucking breathing in the other room.
You know what? You know what, Greg? You son of a bitch. Yeah, the new Scream is being filmed in Canada, and Texas Chainsaw was filmed in Bulgaria, you bastard.
Oh my God, you poked a fucking bear.
That's it.
Drive by.
Oh, God.
The movie was set in Texas. Ergo, it's in Texas. There was a chainsaw. It had a massacre. It's a great film.
It's the Bulgaria Chainsaw Massacre, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. I can actually hear him breathing from the other room. Oh my God. His nostrils had to flare out the size of fucking Roman candles.
This is the first time the location of filming is not shitting on me. This is great. Wow.
That's right.
That's
I would
funny.
give you the pleasure of having this filmed in Canada. If it had been filmed in Canada, I wouldn't have been.
Oh, I am so going to be using that Bulgarian Chainsaw Massacre. Thank you.
It's kind of nice being on this side of it.
Yeah.
I have to see why you guys do it to me now. Okay. But I mean, what the fuck was Netflix thinking? They got a bunch of views, I guess. So I mean,
That's what they were thinking, right? I mean, it probably didn't cost them that much to pick it up.
Yeah.
And they got a ton of views on it.
And see, everybody that watches it, they get a kickback on that money. Every movie that's on Netflix, that Netflix gets paid for it. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think all of our shit's going up?
Yeah, the nerve of it. Probably because of Texas Chainsaw. It's the reason it went
They
up.
probably lost money. I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, dirty bastards.
Instead of a thumbs up, everybody was hitting thumbs down on it.
I wonder what it is. Where's my? Hold on. I should check that real quick.
Yeah, but it's in Bulgaria.
Bulgarian Chainsaw Massacre. While you check that, there's one more shot that I really just wanted to talk about from this movie, and it is maybe Rob will know the building, but when there's that random fucking pool in the ground that they are in for a scene.
Yeah, that's the movie theater also.
Is that the
theater?
theater?
Movie theaters often have pools in the middle of them.
Okay, well, when they're in the pool of the movie theater, she climbs out and takes her sweet time crawling away. Leatherface jumps out of that thing like a fucking shark. Like his whole body is just fucking projected upward at the most ridiculous angle I've ever seen in my entire life. I had to go back and rewatch it like an extra couple times.
Yeah, it doesn't
was
look
just so funny.
It doesn't look like a Leatherface thing. It looks more like something you would see in a Friday the 13th with Jason jumping out of Camp Crystal Lake onto the dock.
Or like, I think it could be in a Jaws movie. Just like a full shark level speed. coming out of there. My other question, I think the last note that I have that we haven't really talked about, why was the bus driver just asleep all the time?
I don't know. He's a bus driver in Texas. What are you going to do? I mean, if you drove a bus to Harlow, Texas, what would you do?
It just seemed so weird that they made a point out of it because, like, multiple times they had to wake up the bus driver, and I was like, "Why?
Yeah, I mean,
is this adding anything to the story?"
You're driving a bus to Harlow, Texas, and it's full of those douchebags. I'd probably want to sleep too. I don't blame you for that.
I don't see a rating or how do I see a rating on here?
What are you looking for?
The rating on Netflix.
Oh, I don't know.
I guess you can't see it.
I don't know. I had it up on Rotten Tomatoes. Hold on. On Rotten Tomatoes, it was like a 32.
Is that higher than Feast 2?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think it is.
Yeah, shit.
The audience score is only 27, if that helps.
Yeah. On IMDb.
Oh, wait, no. That's worse because it means critics rated it higher than.
Yeah, which usually is the opposite. On IMDb, I can't find a rating for it, which I think is weird because normally those are pretty front and center.
I wonder what that piece of shit. What was his name? Cat. That son of a bitch.
Oh,
damn.
Jack 1988 or whatever it
Jack
was.
the Ripper or something.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. No, IMDb. Sorry, 4.8, which is really high, actually.
Oh shit. The movie started playing. And I'm at the part, I think, where he like jumps out of does the swan thing out of the damn. Hold on, let's see.
Isn't that the funniest? I can't get over that shot.
Wait for it. Jesus Christ. Dude, like, what the fuck? I don't know where to begin on that. Like, he's such a large man. What would make you think gravity would allow that out of water?
Uh-huh.
Do you know how, I wonder how they did that.
It probably wasn't that deep, and he was already at the bottom and just pushed off really hard. And they probably had one of those,
cables.
Those springboard things, underwater ones that they use to propel people up out of the water on water.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's
What
the thing I could think of because I was like, he's too fat and he's too old to do shit like that.
Right. So it's like, do you know the trouble they had to fucking probably go through to get that to however they did it?
Yeah.
You went through that much trouble for a dumbass scene? It's fucking. I want to talk to a Netflix executive. Whose idea was it to put this on?
What were they drinking that night?
Margarita in a can. Shit.
I'm trying to look. This actor who played Leatherface, I have seen him in something. He was in Buffy.
Oh, who was he in Buffy?
He was in one episode. It looks like he played a character named Lenny.
That did not. I just watched so much Buffy. I thought I would know immediately who you were talking about, and I didn't.
No, he was in one episode. He played a character named Lenny. The episode was called Lover's Walk. I don't know.
Lenny. I remember the episode.
All right. I feel like I'd seen him in something. Anyway, one thing, I don't think his performance as Leatherface was necessarily bad. I just think that everything they had him do as Leatherface was bad.
Yeah, this one was definitely on the writers.
Yeah, I don't think that it's on him as an actor. I do think that he played the part fine.
Did he though? Because I mean, nothing that he did screamed Leatherface to me. Not even when he put the mask on. You know, when you think of Leatherface, you can't help but the OG because it's the one that started everything. But to me, he just didn't scream Leatherface.
No.
Yeah, well,
but
I think a lot of that though is the look. He doesn't look like Leatherface. He just looks dumb. Yeah,
they really screwed the movie up. They did. This was a cash grab that they didn't grab enough cash.
Yeah, they should not do this movie right. There's no way.
Only Texas Chainsaw, man, because this title does get slotted around pretty well, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but outside of a few of the movies that they have some that actually really fit. But to sit there and say that this movie is a direct sequel from the 1974, no. Because the 2003 and the 2006, I think those are the two. Those two fit really good. This is the Jessica Biel and Jordana Brewster one. But no, seriously, as the Hewitts, they fit well as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre depiction. But if you want to go full on Leatherface, where it ties to the OG, and like I said, I touched base with these two movies, but I really want your guys' thoughts with this as well, because I did a lot of research on these movies. I took this shit real serious because it just broke my heart with this TCM 2022. But Leatherface, the prequel, 2017. Okay. Jedediah Sawyer is Leatherface. And in there, they showed him when he was 8 years old and he got taken away from his family. And he spent 10 years in basically an insane asylum type ward for bad kids. And when you look at the OG, the 1973 one, the age, how they end that story ties directly to that movie. And if you take from that movie to, and I know everybody hates this one because of a certain saying, but the Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Do you think, cuz?
Yes. But it ties into both of the movies because the mayor that is in the 2013 is the son of the ranger from 2017 that took Jed from his family for 10 years. During that 10-year period, Verna Sawyer, the mother/aunt, she basically raised the kids. Okay. She married a Carson. Now, they said that Verna wasn't home. She was at the Carson residence at the last of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2017, or Leatherface 2017. After that was said, then the 2017 movie with what's her name? Alexandra Desario. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. It ties Vernon and her attorney, Hartman, to the prequel that ties to the original. This 2022 had nothing to do with any of the storyline at all. They put him at an orphanage. How is he going to get all the way to that town when this man is a simple-minded man? If you look up some of the background stories of it, he's mentally handicapped. He's disabled. I don't want to drop the R word because it's very offensive to people, and I wouldn't want to offend anybody. But that's how they kind of describe him because of what happened to him in the 2017 Leatherface. And it's just, with this 2022, it's terrible. It has no, there's no way you could tie it to the OG, not at all. There's no plausible way to do it. If you guys know of a plausible way, then please, by all means, explain it. Because like I said, I know that two of these movies are shit movies to a lot of people. But when you're looking at a timeline of a franchise and you really want to tie it up in a bow, sometimes the shit movies turn out to be a lot better than you think because at least it ties to the OG.
I will say that, like, this isn't I think the best case that you could make for tying this to the OG is just overlooking the serious plot holes in the Sally Hardesty timeline. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I think that's what they were going for. I'm not going to make that case because they failed. But I will say on your point of just like the, quote unquote shitty entries being better, I'm never gonna complain about any of the other Texas Chainsaw entries again. Like, I'm just not. I have a new respect for even the ones that I hated initially. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I can totally agree with you on that because it's changed my perspective on a lot of them. I look at them a lot of them with a little bit more respect because nothing can be as bad as this.
Because like so for me, the 2003 and then the New Beginning, like everyone shit on those all the time, and I thought they were fun. They weren't good, but they were kind of fun. Like I never hated those. I did not like Leatherface until I saw the 2022 one, and then it's like, you know what, Leatherface wasn't that bad. I'll take it.
I think this franchise needs a lot more Friday the 13th in it, to where it's just like, dude, let's just get the fucking main character killing people, please. Enough with the prequels and then this and then forget about this. Can we just get Leatherface killing people in cool ass ways? Like, is it really that hard to fucking do? Why is this the franchise where they just can't fucking do that?
I know he's got like a cool weapon. It's a fucking chainsaw.
Right. He's fucking wears people's faces and has a. That's why the remakes, other than this one, say what you want to say about them, they're still watchable.
Yeah.
They might not be great movies. They may not be great Texas Chainsaw movies, but you can sit down, especially the Jessica Biel one.
I was going to say.
Especially that one. But even for just the movie and not the wife beater, it's still a fucking bad. Like, you can sit there and watch it and enjoy it and not be miserable.
That wife beater don't hurt, though.
It don't hurt at all. But other than that, I just don't understand why they like I said, it's a dude wearing other people's faces with a fucking chainsaw.
And they're cannibalistic. How can you screw that up with as much zombie shit as you put out there?
I'll tell you this: Texas Chainsaw, directed by Rob Zombie, wouldn't be that fucking bad.
It'd fit his aesthetic.
Yeah,
it'd be perfect.
I will say, in my opinion, so far this year, X is the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that's come out in 2022.
I will second that strongly.
Yep.
There was nothing but fucking in it. I didn't see no fucking in Texas Chainsaw ever. What do you mean?
I'm just saying, watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it has that kind of Texas Chainsaw vibe, a little bit.
Oh no.
Well, anything's got to be better than this one. That's for sure.
Should we Portnoy this thing?
Before we Portnoy, I do have my reviews.
Holy shit.
Right.
Before we were doing the bracket, I had started doing like review excerpts.
Okay.
I have, as is the custom, I have one good review and one bad review. I almost chose 2 good reviews just because I felt like we needed something to balance all of us out. But I'm gonna start with the bad review though. For the love of Leatherface, leave this massacre alone once and for all. It is time to put the chainsaw down and walk away. That was from David Fear of Rolling Stone.
Good job, David.
If this is what they're going to give us, I agree with him.
Yeah.
The good review I chose specifically to piss off Rob. If you are seeking retribution for the disappointing Halloween kills when it comes to revisiting nostalgic horror icons, then this movie is for you. It keeps the horror formula simple and the kills riveting.
All right, look, I didn't love Halloween Kills. All right, I did not love it, but it's better than this.
But this was simple.
Yeah, all right.
And it kept the kills riveting. That was from Chauncey K. Robinson. From
the kills
Girl
in
Next
Halloween
Door.
Kills weren't the problem.
Damn. Yeah, fuck that person.
And and I said this before. Halloween Kills is at least interesting in that it tells the story of Haddonfield, which nobody has tried to do before.
You weren't impressed by the gentrification story?
Well, yeah.
Nobody's done that before.
What the gas station guy call them? Gentrifuck fuckers or something?
Fuckers, yeah. But yes, with the reviews, we can go ahead and Portnoy.
All right.
This is gonna be fun. I'll go first.
All right.
I give the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love that Greg is listening to this. I give the Texas Chainsaw Massacre of 2022 a 0.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
They didn't even get Leatherface right. Like, it didn't look like Leatherface. Some of the kills that you guys praised, I wasn't crazy about. They weren't over the top kills. They weren't great. They weren't fucking anything like that, man. The Sally thing was pathetic, and they made it like it was this huge fucking deal. And it wasn't even fits in fucking Bulgaria. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even really the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's Bulgarian shitfest. So, therefore, it is a 0.5. And I would like to double down on my point that anyone who likes this movie can go fuck themselves. So, you can sit, cry on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to do it. That's where I stand.
That was something I needed to talk about this like way at the beginning of the episode, but we need to have a disclaimer or something where just this should be a common sense thing, but we're allowed to be hyperbolic on the show.
Yes.
Like, that's half the fun of listening to a podcast.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, don't listen to it. Point blank, period.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm never hyperbolic.
I am.
Yes, agreed. So who's next? I gave my that's a perfect score, by the way.
I'll go. Why not?
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When I think of the 1974 film, the first thing I think of is the feeling of that film. It feels dirty. It feels hot. You almost need to take a shower after you watch it because you just feel gross after having experienced it. And one of the things that none of the sequels have ever been able to really live up to or recreate is that feeling. They do not do that again in this film, though they do try. It just doesn't work. I like the cinematography a lot, but cinematography is only one of a number of elements that make up a film. It is not enough to carry this one very far. I give it a 2.1.
Way too high. Okay. Fair enough.
Is somebody keeping track of these to see if it's going to be Slasher
yes.
Radio approved?
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to give it a 14 out of 10 to make it Slasher Radio approved.
Real quick, too, I forgot to mention that in my little soliloquy. That's the thing, the main thing. It's living up to the original, which was an amazing fucking movie. And, you know.
Yeah. And that's what X does the best. X really creates that feeling of the original better than a lot of films that have been called Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Kat, where are you at with this thing?
I actually have the highest score, which is surprising because I thought I was being like pretty harsh, and I bounce back and forth because I do kind of try to put movies into perspective of other movies with my Portnoys. I try to be as objective as possible, and I look at multiple factors. I went back and forth with this one because it's like a lot of the things that I rank below a 5, I rank because I get bored. Like, if there's something in there that I want to see or if it has potential, I usually consider that to be above average. This one had moments like that. I think about it a lot. The cinematography was good. Like, there were points in its favor, but there was no way I was going to rank it as high as a 5. And then, you know, I had kind of gone back down, and then I came back up because, you know, the special effects are good and it's got some cool kills. And like you guys were saying, it brought me back down because it's like it really just doesn't live up to the original, which is one of my top 10 films of all time. Like X, actually. Top 10. But yeah, I landed on a 3.1 for this one. There were moments, there were potential. I do spend time thinking about it for better or definitely for worse. But it sucked.
That's way too high. Okay.
Wow.
Amber?
Yeah.
I need a Portnoy for this.
I honestly, a 0.5. And the only reason why it got even the 0.5 is because it was shot beautifully. Some of the scenery in there in Bulgaria, not Texas, was so amazing. Especially that sunflower scene, because I'm partial to them. But until they did the whack-a-mole scene of it, I was good.
That's funny shit.
But yeah, it's just one of them movies that I don't recommend it. People have asked me about it, and I've given them my opinion, and they don't like it, but I don't care. It's just like Rob said, to agree with Rob. When you watch the 1974 one, you get that feel. You feel the terror. You feel it. And a lot of them have dropped the ball, but this one ain't even in the same ballpark. We're talking baseball versus softball. It's not the same.
No, we're talking MLB major leagues compared to like hitting a frozen turd with a stick or something. Like this is this is not Slasher Radio approved. Totaling with a 1.6.
Wow.
Yeah. Joining the likes of Sharks of the Corn, which received a 2.4. So it is worse than Sharks of the Corn. I don't know how I feel about that.
Obviously, it's worse than Sharks of
Clearly,
the
it's
Corn.
terrible.
No.
Clearly, it's worse than one of the best movies of the year.
You guys fucking did that. I gave that a 0.2. Damn.
That's
Really?
ridiculous.
I gave the 5.5.
What? Sharks of the
Yes.
Corn?
Hell yeah. That was a good movie.
See?
Yes.
Never. Come
Everyone knows
on.
what's up.
Rob's only. Never mind. I'm not going to bring up fucking. What did I call that girl again?
Titties out, girl.
Yeah, titties out, girl. Yeah.
Yeah. God damn. She couldn't even save that movie.
A sort of friend of mine, and you're going to disrespect her that way.
Oh, she had titties out.
She did.
Also joining Feast 2 with a 0.4, the lowest we're given, rightfully so. That is also the movie that Greg has deemed better than Halloween.
If you could see Greg's face right now, you'd be cracking the fuck up.
He's going to spoil our whole show on Twitter in about 20 minutes, I guarantee. We might as well not even put this episode out.
Oh no, he's gonna torture you guys. He's gonna make you guys wait.
Oh, what else is new?
He's got that look on his face like, oh, when I come at you, I'm coming at you, bro.
One thing that I will say in defense of Feast 2, that's something I never thought I'd be doing. Feast 2 lives up to the legacy of Feast better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 lives up to the legacy of the original.
It
So
does.
good job, Feast 2, I guess.
Yeah, it does. Feast sucked too.
And you guys have to remember something. You guys poked that bear tonight quite a bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah, no.
you're going to have him on your show in a few weeks. I would think about that.
I know, but you know what? He's limited right now, so I know we're gonna pay for it later, but he's probably got about 50 gabagool pictures in his phone ready to go right now.
Oh.
So I'm aware.
Yeah, Greg, if you're looking for good stuff, just go to Twitter and search the GIFs. Just type in Italian. It's hilarious.
No, why are you helping him?
Well, I mean, it's funny with Greg, like sometimes we're enemies, but then sometimes our interests align. And this just happens to be one of the instances where our interests align.
Yeah, they align when it comes to making fun of me for being Italian.
We're not making fun, Mikey.
Being an Italian and a half breed, so
yeah, no, but it's like, but he doesn't care.
We're not making fun of you for being Italian. We're celebrating your people.
All right. Is there anything that we did not touch on with this damn movie?
I can't imagine. We've talked about this more than anyone should have ever talked about this movie.
Follow the show, Slasher Radio on Twitter, slasherradio.com. You can check out all of our articles, episodes, interviews. Also, don't forget, next week we have Tim Wiltis from, he is the Chief Executive Officer at Saber Interactive. We're going to be talking Evil Dead, the game, coming out next month. what else do we got going on? That's really it for right now that I can think of. You can check me out at Mikey's Dead on Twitter. Rob, do you have a pizza coming this time? Are you ready?
No pizza. No pizza. We're good. I will say that if you're not a cheapskate, you can head over to patreon.com/slasher radio and support the show there. You get all sorts of cool extra content and everything, and it doesn't cost you that much money. Also, speaking of which, we have not recorded our Patreon episode yet. So Amber, you're the lucky one. I need you to pick a number between 1 and 32.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Okay. 17.
17. Oh, that's a good one. All right. Excellent. All right. So that's what we'll go with tonight. Okay. Other than that, you can
Yours next.
No, it's not your next. No.
Damn it.
Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at RadioRob123, and you can listen to my other show, This Horror Life, wherever you are listening to Slasher Radio.
Just want to piggyback real quick. I completely forgot about the Patreon. Again, last week, on Patreon, the show, usually the Easter egg content, for anyone who remembers that's on Patreon. You still get the Easter egg at the end of the show over there. It was too long. The show and the Easter egg together were too long to upload on Patreon. So they had to be uploaded separately again. So you're missing out on a lot of extra content there. Extra show every week on the Lord Humphrey.
The Lord Humphrey Audio Entertainment Network.
That's what it is. I thought it was like the Shit and Go. I don't remember. Anyway, so
it's the LHAEN.
There's no way I'm remembering that. You thought it was hard to remember the other thing. But yeah, you get the extra show. Also, I released the unboxing of the Walking Dead liquor. So that video is out today on Patreon. Yeah, I took a shot in that video.
Good. Yeah. I haven't made a boxing video yet, but I can't wait. Put stuff in boxes.
If you do that, I'll seriously lose my shit. Kat, where are they finding you?
You can find me on Twitter at cat_Voleur, VOLEUR, and that's it today.
Okay. Amber?
Yes.
It has been a pleasure, as always. I want to thank you very much for hopping on with us. You always bring great thought and wisdom to the show. We appreciate that, except when you're talking about Lord Humphrey stuff. And is there anything you want to let us know where we can find you or anything like that? What are you doing?
Nope, you can just catch me listening to you guys every week and probably be calling in more often. So
okay. Is Greg still around?
Yeah, Greg's actually right here right now.
Greg, where are you, Greg?
I'm right here. I'm right here.
What are you doing over there? You lurking? You got your TikToks over there we were talking about earlier, right?
Yes. You can find me on TikTok at Darth Gregor. Horror question of the day. I'm actually starting my own tournament tomorrow. Who's the best Dracula on film? The best. Not your favorite, but the best.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yes. Good call. He's in there.
Nice. That sounds awesome. I also see you're eating food on there. Like you're doing everything on there.
Yeah, on Wednesdays, you leave a comment of what kind of weird food combo you want me to try. If it gets the most likes, I will eat it.
Oh my god!
Unless it's got cottage cheese, because that's just gross.
I have
fixed that. More power to me.
And some of the shit I have actually fixed, and oh my god, yeah.
But I am waiting for the first person to put some gabagool in there.
Son of a bitch! There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Hey, stop helping him! God damn it! All right, guys, we're done. That's it. Texas Chainsaw. It's finally, we got it all out of our system. We will be back next week. Good night from Slasher Radio. What? Always gabagool. Always
gabagool, man. Always. And Paisan.
Yeah, Paisan.
All the best of Slasher Radio podcast.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.